Hello, welcome to the Royal Road School of Carmelite Prayer. We are continuing today our study on the making of the visitation. In other words, the inspection of the monastery by the friar who is charged with this task. It's quite a lengthy presentation by Teresa and has been divided into several parts, and today we will begin part 2. In all monasteries, those founded in poverty and those having an income, the visitator or the inspector should learn in detail about the ration of food the nuns are given and about how they are treated, especially the sick. And he should see to it that the needs of the nuns are taken care of. The prioress needs to have courage and diligence learned through experience. In both types of monasteries, he should take note of the work that each nun is doing and what the nuns have earned by the work of their hands. This is useful for 2 reasons. First of all, to encourage and thank those who have done a great deal, and secondly, so that in monasteries where there is not much care taken about work, the nuns may be told about what others have earned. Keeping these records has not only temporal or worldly benefit, it is also beneficial. It also has other benefits. It is very consoling to the nuns when they are at work to know that it will be seen by the visitator. Though not an important matter, we women who live so enclosed a life and whose consolation is found in pleasing the visitator should be treated with a sensitive understanding of our weaknesses. He should inquire if there is any excess in gift giving, especially in houses with an income. If the prioress is extravagant, the nuns could be left without food, as has happened in the past. It is necessary to reflect and to have a reasonable and fixed amount for everything. He should not easily consent to houses that are too large or allow the nuns to go into debt in order to build or add on to their houses. It would be necessary to give the order that no construction be undertaken without informing the major superior and giving an account of where it is to be done so that he may judge whether or not to give the permission. It is better the nuns suffer not having a good house than that they worry because of debt and lack of food. It is very important that he always inspect the whole house to determine how recollection is preserved. It is necessary to think of all the evil that could arise so that the occasion can be removed. He should observe if there are 2 grates at the grill in the parlor, one on the outside and one on the inside, and that a hand cannot reach through. This is very important. He should look at the confessional and see that the curtains are nailed over the confessional window and that the communion window is small. The entrance door should have 2 bolts, and there should be 2 keys for the door to the enclosure, one kept by the portress, the nun at the door, and the other by the prioress. It is always necessary that these things be looked into and that the nuns see the visitator so as not to avoid carelessness. It is very important that he inquire about the chaplain, who the confessor is, and whether there is more communication with him than necessary. He should ask this from the nuns, and also about the preservation of recollection in the house. If a nun be tempted to misjudge, he can inquire about the truth from the other nuns by putting them under obedience. Once the truth be known, he should severely reprimand the nun who misjudge so that it will not happen again. If some nuns are involved in trifles or exaggerated things, it is necessary to be strict with them and get them to realize their own blindness so as not to be disturbed. If they realize the futility of their behavior, they will be quiet. For the sake of peace and quiet, the simplicity of perfect obedience is a great help. Some nuns could think they know better than the prioress, and they could do much harm to themselves. The discreet visitator will recognize this and help them to improve. Although if they are melancholic, that means depressive, he will have a great deal to do. He should never be soft-hearted with them, for if they think they will get somewhere, they will never stop being a bother, nor will they themselves be at rest. They must realize always that they will be punished, and that they must consequently support the prioress. If a nun would want to transfer to another monastery, the visitator must answer for all to understand that this is not possible. They should not think this no matter how great their reasons. If, however, a transfer has to be made, they must not think it was because they wanted it. They need never know the reason for the transfer, or she will never settle down anywhere and much harm will be done to other nuns. The nuns must understand the visitator will never trust the nun who is trying to get a transfer. Should he have to transfer her, he will not do so if she is trying to get a transfer. These temptations never come except to the melancholics or the depressives, or to those of such temperament that they are not much help for anything anyway. To avoid these issues, he must speak in a conference to the community about how harmful this is and of the poor opinion he will have of the one who considers this temptation. He should give his reasons and explain how no one any longer can be transferred. He should inquire if the prioress has a special friendship with the nun, and so does more for her than he does for the others. He shouldn't bother with the rest unless there is an extreme case. Since our human nature doesn't allow us to recognize ourselves for what we are, each nun thinks she is an expert. It will seem to them that this nun or these others are governing the prioress. The visitator should strive to moderate any excess that there may be in this friendship, but the friendship should not be taken away entirely, for as I say, these persons could be the kind for whom it is necessary. However, it is always good to insist that there be no great familiarity with anyone. Soon the true colors will be seen. There are some so perfect in their opinion that everything they see seems to be a fault, and they are always the one who have more faults themselves. They don't see them, and so they put all the blame on the prioress or on the other nuns. They could fool the visitator into wanting to correct what is being done well. It is best then to avoid believing one nun alone. In a monastery where there is so much rigor, life could become unbearable if each visitator on each visitation were to make new rules. This is very important. Therefore, no decree should be made unless it is a very serious matter, and the community is fully aware of the correction he wants to make. For the nuns could become so bogged down with decrees that, unable to observe them, they simply give up on everything, especially on the rule. This concern has become universal, fashionable, and thus it is necessary to stress the above a great deal. This is the end of part 2. Thank you for following along, and God bless you. Amen.